Me encanta la música. Look at this. Greetings, blessed new day, everyone. It's Mariposa Maát. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone has been having a wonderful new year so far. 2023 has felt very interesting. I started out a little under the weather, so I had to slow down, and I haven't really been on for a second. But one of the priorities that has shifted in my life is speaking Spanish. Please like, share, subscribe, support. For those of you who don't know, I have been here now in Mexico for 3 years, but also specifically in Valladolid for 2 years. And during that time, I have learned how to speak conversational Spanish through language immersion. I haven't taken any classes. I had a basic foundation from childhood when I took classes, but I had never had the practice of actually speaking the language. And so it's been a true honor and a privilege to become bilingual and to actually learn how to speak Spanish. I love the language very much, and I really love how I've been able to just learn it by being inside of the culture and needing to use the language constantly. So today I am going to share with you some of the different strategies that I have used to become successful in speaking Spanish. I think that learning language is like a lifelong type of process. So it's something that everyone needs to be very patient about, but at the same time, it needs to be clear that you really cannot just learn a language in a book. It's not really possible. You can learn the foundation, but as far as being able to use it with human beings, you really have to learn it in a cultural context in order to speak it properly the way the people do, right? And so I would like to offer this to people. I think at this point in time, everyone can learn a language, and also through language immersion, not on the level that I am because I'm in a Spanish-speaking country, but because of technology, we have so many tools at our disposal, so we just have to use all of the tools. So I'm going to be speaking about what all the tools are that I used. Okay, so let's start. And I highly recommend that everyone learn a language. Okay, so the first strategy that I think anyone would need to use is to start with one of the apps, right? There are lots of wonderful applications now that are also free where you can learn the basics of just about any major language, just about any language. So for me, I used Duolingo before I even came here just to start brushing up. My friend Lance, thank you Lance, hipped me to that. I asked him because he's an international traveler, and he told me that's what he did. So I used Duolingo. So anyone, you can look this up in the App Store, pull it up on your phone, and start learning the basics. Then you can get a translator app, right? So any word, any sentence that you hear, you can plug it in and translate it. And then also, when you want to say something, you can type it in English and it will give it to you in Spanish. So that's the second way. And there are lots of different translation applications. Even Google Translate is great. So, you know, on any computer, you can go to Google Translate and use that. So that's number one. That's the very basics. Anyone can start there, and those will help you. Okay, so after you know the basics, then you can do fun things like studying music and the lyrics. And so I do this, and by learning the music and the culture, it really makes learning fun, and it makes it very personal, and it also brings in the emotions, you know. In the music here is very emotional. So like mariachi, and you know, you have gritos. Gritos are when they yell out hi, or hi, or they could be laughing or crying, right? I think they say gracioso. Those are laughing, and then when they're laughing, and then sometimes they're crying. Voy caminando. No sé qué ser. Hola, quiero que tú sepas que te quise amar. Hola, y no duele el amor. No quería, no. Hola, quiero que tú sepas que te quise amar. Solo una oportunidad. Cinta morada, con una cinta morada tenía mi cascabel. Me encanta la música. Look at this. So, I really enjoy that, and I love all the different styles. It's a very enjoyable thing to actually see what things I really like, and then it's a way that I can connect with people here. I can talk to them about music and culture. So that is a good way on the ground to really start to feel the language, you know, and make it personal to yourself. Learn the lyrics and start to sing them, and you can hear how they express things, you know. Number 3, watching YouTube videos, you know, having certain content creators that speak Spanish that I follow. Instead of watching English entertainment, I am enjoying finding personalities. I found one particular one when I was in Guatemala. I actually was filming in a location where there were famous YouTubers from Guatemala who I met. So I'm actually in their video for that time. And so ever since then, it's Maler is the name of the channel. And so I've been watching them, and they're very nice people, you know. You just follow them through their life, and I just get to hear how they talk to one another, right? So this is in Guatemala, and I find it to be very helpful.
Sí, ya no puede grabar, y en las tardes uno lava.
Se atrasa mucho. Se atrasa mucho. It is very late. Okay. Got it. Se atrasa mucho. It is very late. And of course, in keeping with watching the YouTube channel, you can also watch movies, right? Everyone watches movies. You put it in the Spanish language, but you have subtitles. You can put it in English at first, and then you can change it to Spanish subtitles. You can also just make sure you're not missing the words as you improve. And I would say that whenever you're doing something like this, like when you're watching, you need to understand that you need to give it more time than if you were to watch something for entertainment purposes in English, right? It's not just for fun. It is educational, so it's kind of like a class. The way you need to do it, you need to stop the tape. If you don't understand something, go back, translate it, write it down, and really don't just keep going through it if you're not catching things. Take time to go through it, write down anything you don't understand, figure out what's going on before you move forward. Okay, so basically watched video podcasts and certain personalities that have also learned how to speak Spanish and talked about their experiences and the things that they've used. So I've done that. Okay, number 4 is to take online classes in group and one-on-one. And this is something that I actually just started last week. I had never taken classes before because I figured I'm inside of a Spanish-speaking location, so it doesn't make sense. I could just go talk to people, right? But it helps when you have a teacher who's very well versed at a certain level that I can have conversations with, and they can help me to better understand how to communicate different things, as opposed to just people on the ground who might not even have my experience or understand how to communicate my experience. You understand? So that has been very helpful for me. Again, I'm learning more about different cultures. The teachers that I'm working with right now online, they're mostly Argentinian and Venezuelan, but they're in Argentina. Yeah. And so I'm learning about Argentina. My tutor, that's what our topic was yesterday, is we talked the whole time about the culture in Argentina. I really enjoyed learning about it. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, un gusto. Mariposa, ¿verdad?
Sí, un placer.
Un placer. Primero, te pregunto, ¿alguna vez ya habías hablado con algún argentino?
Sí,
Perfecto.
Aquí hay muchas maestras de Argentina y también en México.
Perfecto.
Yo conozco mucha gente de Argentina. Hay mucha gente de Argentina aquí.
Perfecto. Sí, porque siempre aclaro al principio por la pronunciación de la Y y de la doble L. Exactamente.
Sí.
Allá.
Claro.
Sí.
Okay, and so the next item is in-person classes, but for me, like I haven't taken Spanish classes here on the ground, but I have taken classes in Spanish. So I've taken dance classes, I've taken art classes, and I've done a number of things where I have, I did temazcales, which is a sweat lodge ceremony, and that was always in Spanish. So by doing these activities live on the ground with other people, it also strengthened my understanding, of how people interact using these languages to groups of people. So daily interactions are really what's important for me. Is, when I'm really studying, I take that information and I take it onto the street when I'm talking to people, and I make sure that I actually use the words that I'm learning. And that's really important. Reading books. Reading books is really, really important because it gives you the opportunity when you read it out loud to make sure that you can say the words. Because the first time that you see a word, and the first time that you say it, you might not have the right, accent, or you need to practice it before you're in front of someone, or you're not going to say it if you don't feel confident. So I read children's books. Here's one of my reading books, Rita la Brujita y la Concurso de Talentos. See, so this is where we start. Reading these children's books is very helpful because, of course, children are on the same level that I'm on. So, for example, here's a little chapter book, and practicing reading out loud really helps. It's important for the pronunciation, and it gives you time to really look at each word. When you're practicing talking to someone, you don't have time to think. So this is where all the real practicing comes in, is when you're reading to understand how things are laid out and the structure of the sentences, okay? So this is the first chapter. Look how cute that is. Rita, la Brujita y su tartarabuela, which I didn't know before, but her grandmother, tartarabuela. So, ¿qué crees? Le preguntó Rita a su tartarabuela, Eldora, mientras esta creaba una poción mágica. Okay, so she said, what do you think? Asked Rita to her great-grandmother, Eldora, meanwhile, or while she's creating a magical potion. Yes, so this is another way, a very important way that I practice my Spanish, is reading children's books first, but reading overall. And I have a Spanish workbook, an adult workbook that I work through. So I'll show you there. It's been very effective for me to start to integrate the vocabulary and the understanding of the language and how it's used. And I am myself, I'm really into psychological concepts. So having the workbook journaling prompts has really helped me to develop my vocabulary in that way regarding self-development. So this here is a book by Louise Hay, very popular in the United States. In English, it's Love Yourself and Heal Your Life. Okay, and so here is a book in Spanish. So I'm going through it very slowly. If I were doing it in English, of course, I would just, read it, go through it very quickly, because journaling is something where I would probably get through this very quickly. But this is taking me months, because just reading it alone, I go through it and I write lines under all the words and phrases I don't know. So you see, there are a lot. And then after I make the line under that, I look it up, of course. And what I was doing was I was writing in the book, making notes, but also I keep another book, which I always write whatever I don't know, the information. And so then I will review these things also. So it's all part of the lesson. And so it turns into a huge lesson, as a course that I'm putting myself through, and I just have to do it poco a poco, little by little, but I learn a lot. And so I love libros de desarrollo, de autodesarrollo, books for self-development. And so that's what this is here. And another thing that I use a lot are affirmations, which they have here. And what I will do, I will also create my own affirmations. Think of what I want to say, learn how to say it, translate it, and write it in my book. And then for some days, I will say it every day until I really know how to say the word. So that's how I learned Yo soy muy orgulloso de mí misma, which means I'm very proud of myself. I learned that because I wanted to learn how to say that. I wrote it out and I would say it every day. So here in this self-development book, it has the points of power that are listed. And so this is also something that would be very good for me to repeat to myself, and then I write down the things that I don't understand and work on it until I know it. Okay, so let's just go through this. The first one says, cada uno de nosotros es responsable de sus experiencias. So each one of us is responsible for our experiences, okay? That's a point of power. So if you don't like your experiences, then you're responsible for changing it, right? Okay, number 2, cada pensamiento que tenemos está creando nuestro futuro, okay? So each thought that we have is creating our future, okay? Todos enfrentamos patrones dañinos de resentimiento, crítica, culpa y odio a uno mismo, okay? All the patterns enfrentamos, I don't know, patrones dañinos. Okay, so here's an example. I don't know what a few of these words mean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write it down. Todos enfrentamos patrones dañinos, like niños, but dañinos. I don't know what that means. It's a different sound. Resentimiento, that would be resentment. Crítica, critical, or critic. Crítica, criticism. Culpa, fault, or finding fault. Y odio, a uno mismo. Okay, so there we go. That I've written it down. Now we're going to go translate it. Okay, I'm going to go to the computer and translate it. Okay, so I just popped it into Google Translate, and here we go. Todos enfrentamos patrones dañinos de resentimiento, crítica, culpa y odio a uno mismo. Okay, in English, we all face harmful patterns of resentment, critical guilt, and self-hatred. Okay, I think it shouldn't be critical guilt. Let's see. See if that changes it. Yes, criticism. Resentment, criticism, blame, and self-hatred. Okay, so that's what we've learned. So to say we all face is enfrentamos. Enfrentamos, that makes sense. Enfrentamos like the front, right? So enfrentamos is to face, we are facing patterns, patrones. And harmful is dañinos. Okay. Furthermore, while I'm sleeping, I play affirmations. Sometimes I don't like to play affirmations when I'm sleeping, but I play affirmations in Spanish also while I'm sleeping. And that way, it is a kind of a hack to get into your mind, you know, into your subconscious, where you retain the information much better. And that also helps, you know, to fortify those words in my psyche. So that's another way that you can support your language learning. When I'm walking around on the street, you know, I'm always seeing words that I need to read. So I'm coming from my morning Zumba class, and you know, every moment of every day is an opportunity for me to learn the language even better, you know, because I have conversations with people all day, every day when I'm outside of my place. And then also when I'm looking on the street, there are all kinds of signs and things. I hear people talking. I can hear their conversations. So, for example, here we go. Fruteria. Frutas, verduras y legumbres. Those are beans, like legumes, right? Mayoreo y menudeo. Mayoreo y menudeo. I'm gonna have to look that up. Mayoreo y menudeo. Yes. So this is what it's like. It's like I'm always learning. I can just put that in my translation device and figure out what it says. And then on the other side here, Bodega La Avenida. Okay, the bodegas are the stores. And it says condimentos, condiments, granos y semillas. So, grains and seeds. Okay, and so that's what living here is like, is I'm always learning. Just becoming a student in life, because you're constantly taking notes. And I even keep a little book in my purse. So when I'm moving around in the city, I also will write, if I don't have time, I'll just write the word really quickly, so when I get home I can translate or something like that. But then it goes in my book, and I note that I learned that word, and this is what I remember. When you do that, when you stop and you do that, you will retain the information much better than if you just, keep going. So take advantage of those times when you say, oh no, I don't understand that. Hold on, write it down, figure it out. Yes, this is what it means. Then move forward. Okay, so it really is quite a discipline, being a student. It really is something that you'd never drop. This, yes, please like, share, subscribe, support. So please let me know what you think about this Kaleidescope Klan. Actually, when I am fluent in Spanish, and I'm committed to be fluent by 2024. I will be fluent this year. When I'm fluent, I think I might become a teacher of basic Spanish. Sí, pienso que sí. Porque me encanta la lengua y yo comprendo el camino para la gente que son de los Estados Unidos. No es muy fácil para la gente y yo comprendo todo. Entonces yo pienso que es una misión muy bueno para mí. Okay, so thank you, Kaleidescope Klan. I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care, stay blessed, and continue to embody the sacred transformation. That's right. This is what being a butterfly is like. We're always changing, always growing, always elevating. Peace. Hey, yes. Learning language and culture is supposed to be fun. So continue to embody the sacred transformation. Yes, the vihuela. That's the name of what he's playing. It's not a guitar, it's a vihuela. Especially for mariachi. It has 5 strings instead of 6 for the guitar and 4 for the ukulele. I think, of course, it's great to study before you come to a country, but the best way to learn a language is immersion, complete immersion. I would highly recommend it.
Welcome to AscensionLife Design. Our original pieces are custom collages with embedded gemstones to keep you elevated. Visit our online shop to choose from a wide array of products, from stickers, bags, clothes, and home and office. There's something for everyone. So come and get your glow up today.